Welcome into another 5 Minutes with Sean, maybe 10. We're in a after hours edition, doing this a little later than we normally record the show. So I always find the energy is a little different in the evening than it can be in the afternoon. I know that sounds odd, but that's just what I found from doing I've done a few interviews, not a lot, but I've done a few in my life, and they're a lot of fun. Today's guests, man, these guys are the absolute epitome of the word energy. You know, if you watch the car business, if you see the score, right, you've seen these guys everywhere, right? They just made their splash down at Digital Dealer in Tampa. My guess is they're hitting the road show. So wherever there's a show coming up, these guys will be there. Fred Lou, Car Guy Coffee, the certified solutionaries. How are we today, gentlemen?
What is happening? We are fantastic. So honored to be here. Thank you so much, Sean.
Blessed to be here, man. And this is something I've been looking forward to for a long time. So thanks for the invite.
Yes.
Let's have some fun tonight.
Yeah, you guys are welcome, man. I really appreciate it. It's a good time. You know, you had me on your show. We had a good time with the 5-liner, which I enjoyed. So here's how we do it this year. As I told you guys, you know, guests pick the topic. And as you guys know, I am not privy to that. So as always, Fred Lou, what is it we're going to be talking about tonight?
We are going to be talking about the importance for leadership to
know the way, show the way, and go the way.
That's right.
I should have totally expected some rehearsed. That was good.
I promise you.
It's right off the top. We call ourselves the one take productions right there. We love to have fun.
Know the way. All right, but see, now you got to redo it because I don't write that fast. So know the way, go the way.
Go the way,
show the way, and then go the way.
All right, then go the way. All right. So cool. Well, here's the thing, right? You guys, I knew you'd hit me with that. So one production, that's all we do here. As I told you before, there are no edits. There are no redos. What happens here happens. If after 45 minutes you decide, Sean, I said some crazy shit, we cannot air this, the worst thing that will happen is we have wasted 45 minutes of each other's time on a beautiful Friday evening. And that is all. That is all. So let's have some fun with it. Start with know the way, okay? Leadership. Okay, guys, I'm not gonna be honest with you, right? The word's a little overused for me right now, so I like that you went to something else. So let's just say humans. I feel like humans can apply to this. It doesn't have to be leadership.
I love that.
So talk to me about the first piece of it. Know the way. What inspires it? What do you refer to? Obviously, we're talking business sense here. Tell me where we're going with that.
Well, before we do, I just want to say you made a really good point there when you said humans. Because here's the deal. Everything we do in business actually is real life. So how you act in real life will translate great in business if you have the right type of mentality and the right type of soul going on, like the way you do things and how you treat people. It translates 100%. So you hit that right on the spot. I just wanted to let you know that.
Right. I would agree with you. I make the joke about people who have a messy car. They probably have a messy desk. They probably have a messy room. And my wife's always like, that's judgmental. I'm like, bullshit, it's math. I guarantee it. Pull this person over and go ask them to see their rooms. It will look the same as their car does. It's not, you know, and my shit looks reasonable. That's what it is. My car's a little dirty because I'm always out in wilderness. And my bedroom's a little dirty because whatever. It's, it's an old hutch or whatever. Okay. So I'm with it, guys. Tell me, when you talk know the way, Lou, let me start with you on that. Know the way. What does that mean to you a leader needs to do?
So when you're trying to make sure that you understand where it is that you're going, you have to know the way. It's so important that when you're building a relationship, whether it's with a vendor, whether it's you're the actual salesperson trying to lead a customer, that customer wants certainty that you know what you're talking about. You know where you're leading them to, right? You know where it is that you're taking them. You know the way to operate this, you know the questions that they're getting ready to ask. Same thing when you are having subordinates, that you know the way to do my job too. If you're telling me how to do it, right? If you're telling me how to take an up, I want to trust that maybe you've taken an up or two, right? You've worked a car deal or two. If you're going to tell me to say this to Mr. Jones, Mr. Smith, right? I want to know that you know that this is going to turn out okay for me, and building that trust between all levels of leadership. Again, from whether it's a salesperson or a service writer leading the customer, or it's a principal leading an entire management crew and the rest of a team, right? That they know where it is that they're going and they know the way to get there.
Mm.
And so it's so important, again, that you have that with your vendors too, right? Your vendors want to make promises to you, say that you're going to accomplish certain things. You want to know that they know the way to do so. And that when you ask them, where are we? They know how to take a look at a map, right? No different than a guide, that if you're getting ready to do some white water rafting or something like that, you want to know they know where they're going. You're my guide. You're taking me up the stream. I want to know, you know, what's going on, you know?
For sure.
So the importance of knowing that then starts into determining whether or not it then gets taught, right? Fred's a black belt, right? So there's certain things that you achieve as you build up inside of the rank structure, but the honor turns and shifts when you start to be able to be a teacher, when you start to be able to then shift into showing the way. But we'll stick over here.
Yeah, I mean, it translates, you know, and I love that. And it translates through all those levels to going to the showing the way. But, you know, it's just like the whole saying, you know, your cup has to be overflowing, right? And overflowing means knowledge needs to be there. It's been like that since we're kids. It starts like being a human factor, the day we're born all the way to the day we leave. It's really learning every single day. You know, that's the whole keep growing mantra I keep talking about out there, and we keep preaching is keep growing, because when you're not doing that, when you're not being trying to learn, because it changes, this world changes, you change, there's always more. The biggest room in the world
is the room for improvement.
That's right. And that being said, you know, when you know that, just understand that it's okay. Where none of us are perfect. We all have opportunity to grow, but that's what's so beautiful about life. It's so beautiful about, you know, to me, about what God has given us, an opportunity to be able to be more every single day, have the opportunity to live in heaven every single day. And I love that, man. It's just a cool thing.
And also in the depths of it is that the way is also a person. I believe that the gateway into eternal life comes by way of a relationship, and knowing the way is a key piece inside of setting up everything else. That cornerstone is fundamental, but knowing the way is possible. And it's not just a direction, it's also a person. But sometimes it's Fred. I'm following Fred on some things, on other things, he's following me, right?
Sure.
Because I know the way, right? Follow me as I, right? And continue to fill it out from there as I follow Christ, as I work this car deal, as I turn this wrench. Follow me as I, because I know the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's the roadmap piece of life, man. I totally understand that, and it's relatable to me when you look at it from a perspective of, you know, being a leader, right? So we work with clients. The client trusts that we have a map that we take care of and do what it is, like you guys say, we said we were going to do, and ensure their safety throughout the route. And there will be bumps along the route. People have to understand that. And it's important to have knowledge of the road to know where to navigate and then how to get around certain things. And so, yeah, I totally agree with that. You guys are obviously guided, you know, a lot by your faith. I find that to be quite inspiring. You guys put it out there quite a bit. As someone who is not such a person, it is something interesting to watch from afar, for sure. And I think that when you guys talk about it, you know, you can see that passion, you can see that drive within you. That's pretty cool. And you guys are obviously helping others understand their roadmap, see their direction. And that's all we can do as humans, you know, is if you know the road, help others on the road, you know. And I think that's a really important part of getting there for that. So love it. So know the way leads me into show the way, right? When we talk about show the way, I think I have my thoughts on it. But I want to hear Fred, start me off, man. Where are we at with show the way? How do you put that into context and take it from know into show?
That's where, you know, because truly, you know, the know the way is so important. And it's why it's the first thing, because you have to truly know. So educate yourself from day one, like, you know, just like when we go to school and do all these things. So by the time you're ready and you're able to be a leader, or even just be somebody out there leading a customer into a deal, or being a father and showing your child how to tie a shoe for the first time, right? You really need to know how to do that. So being able to show isn't telling people how to do things. It's truthfully that word show. That word, a lot of people confuse that with telling, right? So you have to show it to them. It's like when you go and you say, we're all going to train people and tell them, but then we go out and we get to do some of that OJT, that on the job training. We get to sit down with them and have them sit there and be quiet. Don't say a word, right? Don't you say anything, I will get you, right? Be quiet, right?
He said he wanted the
not. But anyway, but we do that, and so we're showing them how to do it, and we're trying to show them the best way that we know how. And when you know that you're really good at what you do, or I shouldn't say good at what you do, when you're very confident in what you do, it translates really well. And I think confidence is really the key to a lot of things, but confidence comes with knowing the way. And that's kind of another part of that.
But you stopped yourself short there of confidence being, the not being good at it, right? It wasn't enough maybe, or you said maybe confidence was more important, but truthfully, I think confidence comes with being good at something, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's difficult for people to say they're confident doing something if they're not good at it. And I think it's the main reason people don't try to do things is because they're not confident in that net result, whether that be failure or success. They would rather not fail than try, right? So that's an interesting part of the way that you look at that. And obviously through what you do, obviously Lou mentioned the black belt. So you've obviously been through it, and now you're getting a chance to show other people, that part of it. And I think to get there, Fred, I think you had to be good. Whether that meant good at being disciplined or good at being whichever, you don't just end up there. Not everyone can be there if they just showed up to 190 straight classes. Doesn't make you a black belt. I'm sure there are levels and tests and things that go along the way to show that you are that guy. So I think confidence and good they're pretty synonymous. I really do. So I like how you say that, man. So thank you for kind of putting more into that. That's great.
And I appreciate that. And, and you're right. It is, being good. I just, sometimes I don't want to be so self-righteous and say that I'm great or anything like that. I believe I'm very good at my job. And I think that I can really help a lot of people do things. And I'm very confident about that. But I also understand that, once again, that room for improvement. Like, no matter what, I could keep getting better at it. I can't say that I'm so great that I don't need to practice anymore. I don't need to keep knowing the way. I got to keep learning, right?
Yeah, but you can still say you're great, man.
I'm great, man. I'm the best. I'm amazing, right? So I love what I do.
Yeah. There's just no reason to. I get it. Trust me, man. I try every day to be. The version of me now is, looking at the 20-year-old version of me going, who is this? Like, who is the guy who doesn't take any credit, who doesn't do those things? Because as I get older, I find that watching people's success around me, whether that be clients or people in the business, younger or older, whatever, that's what it's about, or a comment on a post, people enjoyed, had fun, inspired by it, took their own picture of being outside. That's it. Right. And that's, people, oh, Sean, you're so great for getting out there. Yeah, man, I'm pretty great for getting out there. I appreciate that. Well, I'm out there all the time, but that's what I've dedicated my life to, as you guys have dedicated your lives differently. I'll tell you something too. You talked about training as it goes to show the way. And it reminds me of before I sold cars, I was with the Men's Warehouse. As you guys know, we talked about some of those stories. And one of the lessons learned there was that you never, ever point anywhere in a store to a customer. You walk the customer to it. If the customer wants the bathroom in the back corner, you don't, yes, there. No, it's come with me, sir. I will take you to the bathroom. And that was the concept there, was that. It was initially show them that relationship. Even if they're there to exchange something, refund something, who cares? Show them, maybe they buy something, maybe they do that. So are you guys on your side, when you talk to dealers now that you're starting to kind of go off and do your own thing, is that a part of the training? Is the show part? Is this how you guys sort of put this together and help them understand what it is that you're saying, is by actually just getting in there and showing the work?
Absolutely. That's
Man,
why
you're so on point, brother. That's all I got to say.
That way. I mean, are definitely zeroed in on where it is that we're going with this, because this is so key in anything, right? If you're any sort of a leader, if you're a father, or you've been trained through something, the majority of the time when it actually became something that you retained is when you were shown how to do it, right? We are militant. Both of us come with that military background. We have had the person barking in our face, telling us everything that it is that we're not, everything it is that they are, who it is that they're going to be, whether it's our daddy, our mama, or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
They are that to us. We understood them as that.
Still
And we
love
didn't
them all.
even understand their rank system yet. And then they started to show us something. Then they started to show us how to use the
so
weapon.
true.
They started to show us how to actually walk, not like we're on the block, right? Used to show us how to dress, used to show us how to speak, right? All of these different things we were then shown by those that we understood knew that way. And the same thing as in parenthood, right? And breaking down even from scripture, it says, lead your children in the way that they should go. Teach them in the way that they should go. You have to point the direction because ultimately they have to take the path. It's them that have to walk it out. If you're a manager at a car lot and eventually you release that customer on, or you release that new salesperson on the customer that your dealer spent $500 to get there, right? You are hoping that you are sending that salesperson into a direction that you have shown them the way to do it. Otherwise, it's you that's accountable for that opportunity that may have been blown. And that's why it's so important that then you do show the way, especially when people don't know the way. It has to be, it just continuously recycles in order to get that synergy to work. But the understanding that all of that is fused together, all of that is so important in order that we have fun and we build that confidence that we're talking about, right? That confidence also comes by you showing yourself that you did it, right? The first time that you closed that one customer, you knew you could do it. The first time you closed that client and you started building that relationship, you knew you can do it. Just like flipping on a trampoline. After the first one, man, it's probably hard to get you off the trampoline, right? Because you just want to keep doing the flips. But once you see it, it's way easier to be done. But just talking about it's another thing.
But you bring up the word accountable, and I think that's a big part of what people need to understand about anytime you want to show anybody something, you need to be accountable to that result. And that person needs to be accountable to that. That's something I learned really early on in my selling life. Slinging clothes, slinging leather jackets, whatever it was we were selling, we had to understand that it was 100% commission. So when you're in 100% commission, you are accountable to yourself every moment. And that's how you're accountable to it, especially when I was younger, financially, that was how I had my stake in life. It was that I didn't define myself any other way when I was younger, but by what it is that I had, what I made, and what I worked for. So like I said, as I've gotten older, we've certainly tried to change that because I think it's important for us who have been in this industry as long as we have, 20 plus years, that we do show the next part, the next legacy part of the business forward. I know there's doom and gloom. The business is going to end in the next 5, 7, 10 years. It's ridiculous. It's a humongous economy fueled by people and jobs and the world and the future that we live in. Whether it's electric cars or not, I don't care. There are going to be cars. There are going to be drivers. There are going to be people wanting to make these major decisions. So I think it's important that we do that. So Fred, on the show front, what stands out to you, man? What grabs Fred about the show me part of it?
It's like the old saying, lead by example. It's anything, everything you do, period, going all the way back to the human factor, being a friend, even starting at that level, being a family member to your brothers, sisters, your mom, your dad. You're always leading by example. You're always being the best version of yourself. You're not perfect. None of us are perfect, right? But you're doing your best all the time. And that's true growth. That's true showing the way. So even when you mess up, and what's even more beautiful is when you do mess up, how you show what you do to that, how you react to your own mistakes, how you react to when you overreact to something. Even, things happen. I've been known to overreact sometimes. I'm not gonna lie, and I understand that's something I work on. But when I do, I try to immediately fix that. I have ways to, so I show a different way, so I can show somebody who's maybe has the same issue. and say, hey, look, I have that same issue, but here's how I react to that. Here's how I counter that so I don't go over the top and try to become Mr. Karate Man, right? So
yeah, see, I don't have that, right? So I don't have, at least you have credentials. I'm just crazy. So my problem is that my dad always taught me if you weren't gonna be the strongest, you need to be the craziest. So that's what I adopted when I was a kid. And so that's who I am, right? I immediately go to, all right, how can I go and fix whatever it is in front of us, whatever the problem is. And you got to slow down sometimes. You really have to look and you have to say, wait a second, if I just go and fix this, will that fix anything? Or will I just band-aid a moment, right? If I see a salesman make a mistake, it's like, God, go in there, put him aside, right? Keep quiet, sit over here. No, that's not it, right? We need to come over, put the arm around, be like, so what's up? How we doing? I saw you guys all over here talking. Whatever it is, find a way to break it where it isn't that person's fault, because we're in public now, man, all the time, seeing how quickly customer service has deteriorated post-pandemic, post-burnout, post how everyone's sort of feeling, right? You're seeing a really low level of customer service in a lot of different places that maybe you hadn't seen before. And it's due to work shortages, inventory shortages, parts shortage, I don't care. And you look at the whole circle of life, people are burned out on it. But when you get great service, right? When someone shows you how great an experience can be, it's unforgettable, right? Freddie, you're getting ready to head out to the most magical place on earth, according to my wife. I've never been there, but she tells me it is, so I believe her. And you are going to have an experience. I bet if you haven't been or you have been, either way, I bet right now you have an expectation of what they're going to show you. Is that fair to say, man?
100% right. 100% right.
Beautiful, Sean.
So now we're gonna have to find out if they can actually go. Right now, you know they can do it. You've seen them do it before. You've heard from your friends. Now this is the show part of it. Now Fred wants to show me you're going to do it. Make it repeatable, right? And let's go through it. So is that what go means, gentlemen? Do we have it right there where it's like, all right, now that we've done it, now it's a go, but it's sort of like when I jump out of an airplane, right? And the guy says 3, 2, and he jumps then. That's go, right? I was waiting for one. One never came, dude. We just and I oh my God, we're going. But that's because he road mapped me. He told me what we were gonna do. He showed me that we're at the edge of a plane. We're about to do shit, and then he just went and he rolled. So how
is that tandem, right?
Oh yeah, man. No, yeah. I haven't jumped enough for that. I don't think I could ever. It was crazy, but fun. Life learning. A couple weeks later, I took my wife on a hot air balloon for her birthday. It was just super weird.
Oh, that scares me more than anything.
Jump from something higher than this. That was a bad idea. Going through it all, but yeah, for sure. So talk to me about what's the go. What's the go part for you guys? How does it line up with the first two parts?
I love that you just brought into it the jumping out of a plane and jumping out of a plane tandem, because that's the part of going that we go together through this. I don't want to just know the way, and I don't want to just show you the way.
Yeah.
These are the answers for you. I'll holler at you later. Peace out. Call me in another quarter, and hopefully everything's working out good. And when I come back in a quarter and repeat everything I said last time, then we haven't gone anywhere. But instead, the go the way part is I am tethered to you, and we are going out together. And together we are going to trust that this parachute opens up for us to have a successful landing and an incredible experience on the way into releasing it. So when it's the go the way part, it's I am literally reaching out to my brother and say, let's go the way. We are reaching out to our clients and saying, let's go the way. We are reaching out to our customers and saying, let's go the way. It is not going to be alone for you.
No doubt about it.
Because I know where I'm going. I'm showing you where I'm going. And guess what? I'm going with you. So the entire circuit gets complete, where just like you were talking about, that person pulls in that other one and says, hey, you're messing that up, or you're missing it. So many times, I believe on so many sales floors this week, right? There were senior salespeople that saw some rookies going through things, making mistakes, that they know the way around those obstacles. They know the way to not have those mishaps. And they hold them. They hold those seeds. They hold that information. They hold those gifts and experiences, and they don't even show them. They don't say, hey, here, dude, bro, let me show you something. Do this, say that, you be good. make a lot more money. You'll be way happier. You won't have Mr. Jones coming in here ready to choke you, right? And that is something that we have to learn how to open up a culture to. So that's the other part that permeates through it, is that we want to energize, caffeinate an entire culture, that synergy of knowing the way, showing the way, and understanding we're all in this together, and we're all going the way. This world is spinning round and round, and guess what? We are all on the ride. And it's so important that we learn that. But that's the part of going the way that we're saying, is that, yes, we are tethered together with you, and we're going the way. And eventually, right, you do this so many times with us tied there together, guess what you can do? You can do this jump by yourself. And then you qualify to do that jump with the other person flipping it. You get to be the one leading somebody, right?
Yeah, I mean, from when I ran the consultancy side of things, in my world, when I worked in corporate America doing that, the job of a consultant is to get fired. Truthfully, I mean, if you do your job right,
yourself obsolete, right?
People shouldn't be carrying you forever. There's obviously ways to have after work and tune-ups and things like that. I get all that, but from a perspective of real change. But the thing about it is, very few people commit long enough. And that's the other part of the journey that I think people need to understand. If we bring it back to the know part, is I know the way, and I know the way takes a while. That's what I know about the way. And people always say to me, Sean, I don't have that kind of time. Well, then you don't want to take my way. And so I cannot help you, because what I know is it's a road, but it's a long one. And it takes a lot from where you are, right? From how I've seen people in your position before. When that happens, we want to do that. So when you guys look at the go portion, there's probably some fallout from no to go, gentlemen, I would assume, of people. As where they get there and they're like, all right, you did that. You've shown me, it's great. Now I'm ready to go. And maybe they don't go, or they don't see it. You guys have had salespeople that have left you for whatever reason.
Sure.
What happens there real quick about once we kind of bring people down with us and we get ready to do the go and they sort of bail? What do you find is how do you react to that? How do you continue with your mission? When you put in the effort, and then the person you put it in for, maybe you cared more than they did, right? That's something I learned really early on in my life, was you cannot care about something more than the person who's supposed to be caring about it, because otherwise you'll invest too much and they won't, and you'll never feel complete in that. It's never going to get you there. So how do you guys deal with that part of it?
It's like that saying, you could always you can bring a horse to water, but they don't always drink it. I just stumbled through it, but you know what I mean. And it's true, but our job is to show and go with them and keep pushing them. But at the same time, there comes a time where you do have to notice that it's just not going to work. Not everybody came on this planet was designed to be a car salesperson. Not everybody who came on this planet was designed to be a lawyer, wasn't designed to be a doctor. So you're going to see that type of fallout even when you show the way, go the way. Or when you know the way and you show the way as a doctor and you're in school, or if people fall out there, high dropout rate, right? So on and so forth. So you have to expect that. It stinks because you fall in love with these people. I mean, I do. My teams, if you guys have ever seen any of my lot walks and showroom talks, I really spend time trying to get to know these people and just loving on them and letting them know I'm there for them. And when you see that they're not making it, and you try and you pour into them and you show them, and you're even pulling them in, you're working every deal you can for them to the T, you're trying to get it right. Yet they're just not getting it. And you see it and you smell it and you're just like, man, almost like deer in headlights, And they're not supposed to be car people, and that's okay. That doesn't mean they're not supposed to be in the car business. Business has a lot of different entities in it. There's a lot of different ways people could be in this business. So if they love car business, that's fine. They could be in it. So I still encourage them. Like if somebody leaves, I would never, if they were like, hey, I don't think this is going to work, I would sit down and ask them why. That's always, that's the question that people always are scared to ask, even when their clients tell them no, right? Why? And just ask them why, and really break it down. Be a friend, listen to them. And that's the thing, love. We lead, that's our number one core value with the Certified Solutionaries is love. I lead everything with love. So if heart, right? So if they come in and they sit down and they want to talk to me and they're having concerns, I want to at least hear it out. Maybe it's a just reason, or maybe it's was supposed to happen, right? And then, or maybe it's there's something that's just, maybe they're having a bad week, a bad month. There's something going on at home. They just mistaking it for work. Cause sometimes we've done that. I've done that where I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to work here anymore or whatever. Right. external things. So you have to just really be a coach, be a friend. That's the other side of knowing the way, showing the, and going the way and showing the way and all these things, because as a leader, you're also a friend too. You have to be like family with them, like listen to them. Cause sometimes if you have your top guy who's normally selling, let's say 30 cars a month, and all of a sudden he's down to 20 or 16 and he's not quite getting there, there's something wrong. It's something at home. Usually it's something more, maybe it's something he doesn't want to talk about to other people. But if you are that person who the whole time have been knowing the way and showing the way to them and going the way with them, they will speak with you, but you have to talk to them. And that's part of knowing too, knowing your team, knowing that, having that experience of, hey, this is what's going on. So that, I mean, it just keeps pushing and it goes in that direction with that, with really, to me, that is the key to really raising your team up, is really loving on them. So when they do want to leave, you understand, and you kind of know, we all know most of the time when they're like, hey, I think I'm going to leave.
Yeah, for sure. It's typically not a surprise, especially when you talk about the why, man. It's one thing I always want to know about anything. Anything, if we get, it doesn't happen very often to us, and we're fortunate in this way, but when we do get cancellations, the only thing I want to know is why. I don't give a shit about the money. I don't care about any of that. I just want to understand, why did this happen from where we were to how we got here? This way, not only can I make sure that is exactly what happened, and something didn't get misinformed, misinterpreted, and B, more importantly, is make sure that we get better. So that if it is something real, sometimes people just don't mesh. You know what I'm saying? I mean, people sign up for our service thinking it's one thing, and then after 30 days, they're like, whoa, this is not what I want. It's like, hey, no problem. High five. Thanks a lot.
Right. Exactly.
I really don't care. we bill in the rears, right? So I'm so confident in what we do. I'll even deliver it to you, and then you'll just, if you don't like it, just pay me and I'll go away. It's not that I don't care. I care a lot, but I'm not going to care more than they do. And so that's a guiding principle for me to run my business, to deal with, 60, 70 different rooftops, is to make sure that people understand that there's no way you can only do it one way. There's no way that this is the only thing that happened. You have to know the why behind all of it. So I love the why, Fred, man. Thanks a lot for even bringing up the why in this discussion, because I think people get lost in it. The why for me is to live my life my way. That's why we talked before the show. We were talking about going to shows. Yeah. And I told my good friend Lori Holter, it doesn't fit my life plan or my business plan. I just don't want to do it. And she said something to the effect of, bravo for standing up for yourself. And I thought, okay, I guess. I mean, that's super nice for someone to say to me, right? Because that doesn't occur to me as anything weird. But I guess it is standing up for what I believe in, who I am, by saying it. But the intention was just because I'm super selfish, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I think I even said to you on your show, it's why I'm not a parent. At the core of me, I'm selfish. I want what I want, and plus I've just never been a kid guy. But more importantly, I'm super selfish, and I'm okay with that. I would rather know that now than do that somewhere else. So for me, it's important that guys like you are out here. You guys got the military backgrounds, you got the kids, you got the businesses going on, you've got this wonderful concept of something that I think is quite easy to follow, with the no show and the go. When you look at how to continually, because you guys are big trainers, you guys love training your people. I hear it a lot from you. I see it a lot from you. Right now, in our industry, I think bad habits might be forming. And it's weird to me that they'd be forming, because I don't think you've ever had more time on your hands in the car business than now. What I mean by time is, because the volume in most places is not the same. Grosses are higher, sure, whatever, we get it. But sometimes volumes aren't the same. Maybe in some cases they're more. But the guys, if they have time today, what should they be focusing on to try and make their salespeople better from a managerial standpoint? Because I know you guys are freshly from those positions. How can we avoid bad habits right now?
Well, I think, one is continual training. You're saying there's a lot of extra time, there is, but they're not using it. I think people are training less because customers are just buying because, right? And that's kind of the crisis. And to me, that's the real crisis. It's not the shortage of chips. It's the habits, like you said, the bad habits that are forming right now. I saw it at my dealership, and we had to make a change. We did. And thank God when we did, it immediately increased our units, and it increased our everything. And the bottom line was bigger, more units, more cars sold, salespeople made more money, their lives were better, all those things. That's how I look at it. Right. So, and what I trained on was, for that, and this is not going to actually be, but what we did different at the store for that was we actually put a thing where you had to have so many credit pulls a week. It wasn't how many cars you sold. It wasn't how much money you made. It wasn't how many cars. It was how many credit pulls did you bring? So that's how many people are you bringing in and actually working and trying to get done, right? So that was the key, and that increased immediately because we were having low credit pulls for like half a year, and because we were doing so well. Less units, but my percentage per credit pull was so much higher. My ratio from credit pull to delivered unit was like, wow, bananas. So I immediately more credit pulls, more car deals. Amazing, right? And it worked out. And it was, immediately like a 20% increase, like boom, just like that.
Yeah, extrapolating math doesn't always work that way, Fred. I think you know that, but I'm happy that it worked out for you that way, right? I think a lot of my car guys and gal managers think this idea that, hey, if I've got 10 people selling 10 cars, if I get 20 people selling 10 cars, I'll sell 200, right? That's some bad extrapolation math. But I like how you break it down to the metric, because I think in your guys' world, right, that metric's extremely important. That is what you specialize in. It's in your name, Fred, for goodness sake. So it's what you do. It's
right.
part of the shtick. And it's important because look, dude, people can say whatever they want about bad credit, no credit, whatever. That's the serious work right there that you all do. Because people, first of all, those people do not find love very many places that they turn. Okay. And by those people, I was those people. So I'm not trying to separate. All right. You want to talk about learning. I learned from 2008 in ways I never thought possible. Okay. Financial crisis. I lost everything. Every single fucking thing you could have. I lost it. And okay, great. Start over, figure it out. And that's what you do. So talk to me about that part of it real quick. What does it mean to you guys to be able to help folks in that situation? I realize that it's kind of an exit plan now. I do get that, but I know it's still a driver to what's going to take you forward. What's the passion like for you on helping folks get vehicles maybe they didn't even think were possible?
Well, that to line up the passion, man, that take a long time, because that is the essence of the entire flow of what we do. The passion of seeing the customer come alive, the passion of seeing the salesperson come alive when they help a customer, seeing the synergy that happens when we meet these goals of taking care of people. But being able to build a relationship with somebody where you convince them, listen, you've been treated wrong before. You've treated yourself wrong before. Let me tell you about a couple of these decisions you made. You probably shouldn't have made them, and you don't want to do that again. Right? You have to pay that price with the customer and be real with them. Yeah. If you want to set them up for success. Again, these relationships take a little bit of a price that you have to pay in order to earn that place in their life, to give them that direction, to say, hey, I'm definitely not judging you for what it is that you've done to get here. But I also want to tell you that I know the way to help you get to a better place. Part of it is, yes, you're going to have to bite like $60 more in payment. Yes, that's what's going to have to happen if this is the car that you want. Yes, you're going to have to probably break that up in a little bit. I would probably recommend that you do set it up based off of your paid schedule, right? Give them different tools, show them how to do so, and you stick with them and you go the way with them. You don't just know it and convince them of it until you get your commission. You then do show them what to do, and then you still keep going with them.
I mean, look at how he does it, everybody. Did anybody catch that? I mean, it does not matter where we have gone or where we are going. My man Lou has the construct and he follows it. And I commend that. I commend the callbacks. I commend the lookbacks. I think this whole thing is phenomenal. Your passion clearly for people is there. You guys love what you do. You love being around people and having that. Fred, for you on the passion side, is there anything that Lou left out that you want to say as far as what drives you, what gets you going to help the customer, in those rougher situations?
Obviously being the subprime hero, that name, it means a lot to me because I've like you said, I've been in that spot. I've been that guy who couldn't buy the car, who couldn't buy a house, who couldn't even get a good credit card unless it was one of those ones that you had to load money on. Right. And, I had to work my way up, and I was never educated. I was never taught, what it was and how important it was. Right. I just thought it was something just simple, like how you get those customers come and say, I pay my cell phone bill. You're like, well, that's not credit unless you don't pay it, then it's bad credit. But right. So, but you have to, educate. And that's a lot of that, like he talks about and what we're talking about and what Certified Solutionary is about. It's just something that we've been taught from day one when we help these people. And what we're so passionate about is they're normal people. They're no different than you and I. We've been there. We've seen that. They just don't know. So we do. So we know the way. So we have to show them how to get better credit. You don't just sell them a car and let them get the true solutionary out there will help them not just buy a vehicle and show them how to buy one, but also educate them on importance of payments being on time, what they can do to have that dream vehicle one day and make it affordable for them by making these things, but also going over other things. I'm not saying we need to be credit counselors, but I'm saying we need to be friends. Yes. We need to be people who want to go with them so that they come back to you. Because when you go on the trip with them, they'll always remember you. You're on vacation. All of a sudden, when it's time for them to come back from vacation, they will ready to trade that vehicle in, or they have a friend that wants to go on vacation. They want them to go with you because you took them there and you showed them the way. You showed them the back trails to the Hawaiian beach that no one goes to. You showed them you know what I mean? It's just that you have to be that person. And we do that with so many things. Lou is a father of 4 children, all of them out of the house now. He's been knowing the way, showing the way, and going the way for freaking 20 plus years. And, as a father myself, I've been doing the same thing, and it's amazing to be around people. You've done it too. We watch what you're doing. You not just know the way, but you show the way, and then you're going to go the way with everybody. And that's just what happens about you, man.
I mean, I look, guys, it's a drinking game already. I'm getting caught up here. It's working. I'm having fun. I'm really enjoying it, but I want to call back. Look, you talk about not having lessons, right? And so, I learned early on, my grandmother gave me my loan for my first car. And so I had to write up a whole dissertation on why I deserved the loan and what I was going to do with the vehicle. I was going to get jobs and do this, pay back schedule. And she's like, cool, great. Yeah, no problem. Come up to the house. I'll give you a check. Awesome. So get up there, grab my check. See ya, grandma, gotta go. She's like, by the way, payments are due on the 15th. Okay, like grace period. No, they're due on the 15th. Oh, all right, no problem. No problem. All right, well, I'm gonna get going. She's like, last thing, if it's the 16th, it's 75% interest.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, yeah, ha ha ha. She's like, no, not ha ha ha. That's the way it is. So every month, dude, I send that thing on like the 8th. You know what I mean? Because up to Wisconsin, from where my parents lived in Illinois, I want to make sure it all happened. One time, I wasn't going to make it. It was like a Saturday into a Monday. It was not going to happen. So my now business partner, buddy of mine, we're 16, 17 years old. I'm like, dude, we got to go to Madison. We got to make a 2.5-hour drive right now. I got to get there before midnight. It's the 14th, dude. We have to go. We drove up there. We rolled in about 9, 10 o'clock. And she's like, I got dinner for you. Where's my money? Have a nice night. I'm going to bed. And it was just, you learn from what you're shown, right? Grandma showed me the way of how we were going to do business. And I try to carry that over. Fred, you brought up your name real quick. I want to circle back to the subprime hero. Dude, it's all right to call yourself great if you're willing to call yourself a hero. Just so we're on the same page. Like, I want to make sure that I give it full circle, that if you guys want to, you want to be coy, I appreciate coy, but the reality is you're really good at what you do, bro. So you should be like,
thank you,
smiling about it and telling folks, and you already put it in your name. So yeah, good job. All good. So look, when we go forward here, as we do, we move through it here. You guys have been more than gracious with your time. I know we are late on a Friday night. Families are everywhere. I get it. What is it about the future of you guys, right? Because this is it. This is like kind of your coming out party as a company right now. Both Fred and Lou are doing their thing as of when this airs. It's their gig. It's their bid to have.
Yeah, that's true.
What's going through the minds right now, gentlemen, as you get ready to do this? And Lou, I think it's funny, right? You left, I think, a little bit earlier, right, than Fred, and started kind of the journey a little bit. And so the same thing happened with me and my now wife. We were dating other people when we met, and to be out of respect for those people, we decided to break up with them, right? And so there was no plan or anything set up. And so she calls me on like a Wednesday. She's like, yeah. So I went ahead and did it. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, I have a dinner down here. I have all this shit to do. And she's like, no pressure. Just, I already did it. No big deal. And so I'm like, oh my God, like I have to go do this now. And so I did it like 2 hours later. I tore the Band-Aid off. So Fred, talk to me about what it's been like, sort of watching Lou go out first, and then both of you tell me what it is that you're hoping to to do or what the journey looks like moving forward?
Man, watching Lou step away and not be at the dealership no more was it was weird, at first, because we've been with the same auto group, different stores, but same group for 8.5+ years. And, what a journey. And it was amazing. But as he stepped away, I knew one thing: I did not want him to find another job. I was like, man, we started this journey together. We've been building it up. And I knew that means my time at the dealership was short. Like, I was planning maybe the end of the year, but I was like, yeah, it's done now. I'm ready. I just need to figure out when the right moment was. So yeah, it was crazy what it was at first, but confident. I never felt, you can ask Lou. I always told him, I was like, dude, it's going to be great. Everything's going to be wonderful. We're going to just do some amazing things together. And, that's just because we've already known the way, shown the way.
Yeah.
and
let's go the way, shall we? Yeah. Bravo.
Right. So, we've done all that already, right? So multiple times. So no, but it's been beautiful. I've been watching him grow, blossom. He's been really working different angles. We've had opportunity to talk with dealers because he's had the time. It's been really easy for me to not have to just rush into things. We're 50-50 business partners in everything we do. It's not even on paper. It's a handshake. That's how much we trust each other. Right. And that's how much I love this guy.
It's on some paper.
I was going to say, dude, I don't give a fuck who you love. You guys should have something in paper as to who people are. And guys,
the company is set up that way, right?
Yeah, it's set up that
way. It's more important for your families and the people around you that there's a peace of mind. God forbid something happens. We do a lot in life. If we build businesses with other people, it's important that those people are protected.
What we can say is it started with a handshake.
It started.
I love it, and I have no doubt that it'll stay that way. And I love that about you guys. You guys have known each other clearly a long time and working together. I have the same thing with my business partner. I've known the guy since I was 14 years old. We just both turned 40, so it's watching it together, going through things, seeing each other sort of from that distance, right? And I think for you guys, I think the sky's the limit. I think that between the way that you both have done your jobs currently, it's the perfect story, man. I like to call it the car biz story, where you were at the dealerships, you did the work, you put in the time, you understood the structure, and now someone says to you, hey, instead of helping 1, 2, 3, why don't you go help 20, 30, 40? And the two of you go, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think we could do that. And with relationships with people like the aforementioned, our guy, Bill Schomburg, great personal friend of mine, someone I've taken on, as under the car biz wing here for a long time, because you want people close to you that you care about. You two are fortunate to have a business you can do together. And I'm sure you have brotherly discussions that maybe aren't as always nice, especially if Fred's the one that said it, and he flies off the handle. I didn't say it. I'm just repeating what Fred said. He flies off the handle. I do too. I fly off the. I guarantee you, if we all sat down, my business partner and Lou would talk, and Fred and I would talk. That's what would happen, because that's how it will work out. My business partner probably a lot quieter than Lou. I mean, if you were sitting here, dude, we did a video. I wish he'd bring this shit back. I don't know where it is in the archives, but we used to do these little videos back when CarBiz started, way back, my first YouTube videos. I think he took them down because they were so bad. But they were out there, and it was the two of us, dude, at a table in my office. And I'm like, oh, well, meet CarBiz. I'm Sean. I went on this whole big long thing, and I said, this is Jeff. And he goes, hi. And then it goes back to me. And it was like this whole thing. And the whole thing was, we were in it together, but the parts that we live, he wouldn't want to be here, and I wouldn't want to be on the other side of the screen. I wouldn't want to be in that. So, man, bravo to the two of you. Give yourselves a round of applause for what you've done. I'm impressed, man. I'm impressed. And I think, I think it sucks that you leave retail, but if we feel as if we can do more, then the only way to do more from a retail perspective is either go work for a bigger retailer or go out on our own and try to help people from that perspective. So it takes a lot of guts to do what you are about to do. We are 8 years into our bid. We hope it goes on. I said to someone the other day, if someone allowed me to do this for the rest of my life, I will sign up right fucking now. I won't even stop to think about it. I will give you my blood. I will give you whatever it is that you want from me. You can have it, because this is it. So that you guys are going to see it. You're going to go through. Lou's probably already a little further down what I like to call retail detox. Your life changes, man, when the bell isn't the bell. And now the 10-hour day is used for you and how you want to spend 10 hours of your life. How can you be efficient? And what can you do? And if the two of you don't have a team, now you're the team.
Yes.
And that's just, man, I get excited thinking about where you're all at because I think about when we were there. And it's just, this shit's too exciting to keep. People call it panic attack. No, man, I call it creativity attacks. My mind goes wild. I used to have whiteboards all back around this office, dude, covered in nonsense. Made no sense. The next morning I wake up and be like, what the hell does that even say? You know, but the point was, right, we needed to get it off. So tell me, just as we wrap it up, tell me, why now? For the two of you, after the time you've put in, you have the reps, you know where you're at, you know what I'm saying? You know the team that you roll with, you know the job, know the description, know the money. Why now, in the middle of one of the craziest times this business has ever seen in its history? As a matter of fact, one of my owners, the legacy owner, his dad, their stores go back 55 plus years. His dad made a comment that the car business has never been so weird since they invented the highway.
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay, all right, the highway. So let's just, let's work our way through that. So, gentlemen, one at a time. Let's start with Lou. Lou, tell me why now?
Because we were made for such a time as this. As dark as it seems things have gotten, at those opportunities in life is when it's time to turn on the light. It's time for light to beget light, which begets light. It's time for the auto business to wake up. If they haven't woken up yet, well, daggone it, we are bringing the coffee to kind of bring the caffeination to the culture. It is time for a wake up, and we have been prepped for this time. Again, we are firm believers in our God, and we know that He created us. We know every lesson that we got, and we know that this is the moment we were created for. And so it is time. And that's all that we can put to it, because we can keep trying to say, oh, if we would have only done this and this and this, it would have been made sense then. Or we didn't know how the pandemic was coming and how that played perfectly into what we were building in our business, right? The things that we needed, we didn't have time to do as car guys having a podcast hobby, right? We had all of a sudden time to be full-time podcasters because we're part-time car guys. You know what I mean? During a pandemic, true. You know what I mean? It totally on us. So all of the shifting happened on time. And so the why now is because it's needed. The why now is because it's time. And the why now is because we know we actually know the way. So as we get to this point, we know that we have learned the way. We know that we can show the way, and we know that we're getting ready to go the way.
Yes. Again, for those of you at home, I know it's a Monday morning, but enjoy life. Don't worry about it.
Exactly.
I had to.
Hey, oh man.
You know what I mean? That's it. All right. So that's Lou. Fred, take us out, buddy. Why now for Fred?
Wow. It's that's.
And no copies. No copies.
I'm not going to copy him. I'm going to say he said it really nicely though. But and I echo a lot of what he said there, if not exactly what he said. But for me, for Fred, it's been a unique couple of years for me. It's actually been a unique last 4, almost 5 years for my journey. I've been on a major growth journey. And I'm not. Okay, I believe that every perspective, everybody's thoughts, everybody's whatever it is, your religion, non-religion, I respect it all and I love it all. I think that's the purpose of this world, for us to have diversity, right? Obviously, I walk with God. I do believe Christ is, his death saved me, gives me eternal life. I do believe that, but that's recent for me. A lot of that stuff, all the stuff has just been pointing towards where I need to go right now. Like 2 years ago, if you would ask me about God, I would have said, it's great that you love God. I believe there's a power, the universe. I believe there's energy, what you put in, what you get back, which is God. That's so crazy when I retrospect, right? But the same time, it's just been a lot of work. I put a lot of work in. I've got more organized. I started writing down. I started using a planner. I'm obsessed with my planner. I'm obsessed with my phone calendar. I'm obsessed with this. I started reading. I started working out. I started thinking about, all the things it took to grow. I started watching people. I started, seeing people like you, seeing the Michael Cirillos out there, talking to the El Patrons out there, getting all these people. And then we started the podcast. I was in the middle of I need to grow. I was stuck at a dealership. I was and I'm not saying stuck, and I hate it because it's the best job I ever had in my life. I stayed there for 8.5 years because it was the best job I ever had. But when you're capped, there's a cap. Grant, we can have a better month. We could spike. We can have these record months. We could do these things, but you're still capped at what I can really do, who I can impact, right? It's somebody different all the time. Don't get me wrong, but really how much impact am I having, especially because I have a God-given gift. God has given me a gift to be the subprime hero, right? God, the universe, God, whatever you believe, that power is inside me and it's telling me it's time. Told me to start the podcast. I asked Lou, let's do this podcast. I knew there was something there. I wanted to be able to spread joy in this business. And it wasn't, it was just the time. I felt it. That was the time then. I knew it was going to happen. I was like, let's do this podcast. It was before Corona. It was like, literally, it was around this time of year. It was October-ish of 2019. And I called Lou and I was like, let's do this. We started planning it. Our first episode was 1/20/2020. We started doing that. It got crazy after that. Didn't know what to do. I started asking people. We started doing interviews. We started doing live interviews. Things transformed, life transforms. I got better. I didn't know what it was going to be, what it was going to become. I didn't know Certified Solutionaries was going to happen. I just wanted to have a podcast, have some fun, and become the best podcast in the world, right? I wanted to have a good time and invite people on the show, educate people about the car business, show people the way. Right as we go the way.
Yeah, I'm out, man. I'm out. It's you've exhausted all of them. I don't have any more to play. It's never happened to me before, guys. I don't know. It's never happened. I should have never poured a double either. I mean, if I would have known this was going to be the pace, I wouldn't have done that.
But no, man, in real talk, it came down to that. And we started building this up. We started meeting people. They started showing, I saw people who knew the way, like you, and going the way and all those things. And I'm just like, wow, this is powerful. I want to impact like that. How can I? Well, I had to build myself up. I had to fill my cup up. I had to make sure that I was ready. I educate. 75 Hard was a culmination of it. It is. And it's
That's
time.
Just getting ready to wrap up, man. And I can see the energy. I can see the passion. It's obvious where you guys are in a room, how you feel, where you smile. Shit, I don't have to go to these shows. All I got to do is follow your all's feed, and you guys are where everybody's at anyway. So just know that when you go to shows, I'm looking. So I want to know the vantage point. I want to see what you all see, because that's how I go to shows now is through you all, vicariously living the show life. Through you it's important to me. So please continue to do what you do. I'm really excited for you guys. Guys, where can folks find you, the message, the deal? Where is it at?
CarGuyCoffee.com.
Yep.
You can check out all the podcasts. You can go order you some of the freshest brew for car guys and car gals to sip on. And you can just drop in some information if you want to know more about what we can do to help out your dealerships. If you want to know about those that we're partnered up with, you check out our sponsors, find out what solutions they have for you. But CarGuyCoffee.com primarily is the way to get a hold of us, because you can reach out to Fred from there. You can reach out to me from there.
Right.
Or you can go Lou Ramirez anywhere on any social media platform. Fred Lenartz anywhere on anywhere.
Subprime Hero kind of pops up quite a bit, but we also have emails, Fred at carguycoffee.com and Lou, Lou at carguycoffee.com. Really easy, really simple. We're always there. We just want to help. If you want to be a guest on our show, even, you just reach out to us. We're always open. People I've heard charged to come on podcast. No, come on my show. If you have value and you want to show the people in the world that car business is good people, I want you to come on my show.
Yeah, man. Anybody in the car business who's charging to have people on the podcast, knock that shit off. I don't know who it is that you think you are or who you want to be, but you are not. Okay, that is not how it works. I have been on the biggest podcast in this industry. I have a decently sized one in the same industry, and I can assure you, no one should be charging nobody to help each other out.
No.
Okay?
Say that.
No,
say that.
That's what I'm talking about. So no,
That's
reach out to us, guys.
Yeah, so you can find them everywhere, guys and gals. They have made it easy for you to find them. They want you to know the way, show the way, and go the way. My goodness, everybody go out, have yourselves a wonderful week. We'll see you again next week. Thank you all so much. Have a great time.
Bye, everybody.
Appreciate it, man.